Welcome to Everlasting Talk. Hello, this is Ever from Everlasting Talk. Before we continue or get started, please check me out at Everlasting Talk on YouTube, Instagram, Twitch, and Twitter at Everlasting Talk. Let's get started. Today in the biography series, we're talking about Ho Chi Minh. Ho Chi Minh is one of the most influential and controversial figures in modern history. Ho Chi Minh was born in 1890 in the An Huy An province in Vietnam, at the time a colony of France. He grew up in a peasant family and given the name Nagayan Sin Hin Chung. When he was a young man, Ho Chi Minh left Vietnam to travel and work in different countries, including France, the United States, and China. During his travels, he became interested in communism and um, re- uh, national liberation, which saw a way to free Vietnam from French rule. In 1941, Ho Chi Minh founded the Viet Minh, a nationalist and communist organization that fought for Vietnamese independence from France. At the time, France was indulged in World War II, and especially with France losing to the Germans, this gave the opportunity for Ho Chi Minh and the Viet Minh to go ahead and declare independence from France. After a long and brutal struggle, Vietnam gained independence in 1954, about 9 years after World War II, because France couldn't afford to keep Vietnam and other colonies as well, because they were the country and all Europe was destroyed. So that was a good way for countries like Vietnam to gain their independence. He actually Ho Chi Minh became the first president of the National Democratic Republic of Vietnam. He was a complex and enigmatic figure, dedicated but controversial leader for his authoritarian style and his crackdown on political opponents. So he was very ruthless. He, put people in jail, people disappeared, and he was very, very outspoken. Unfortunately, Ho Chi Minh died in 1969, September 2nd, of heart failure. Before that, he actually stepped down in 1965 due to health issues. He was actually president of the country during the Vietnam War, most of the war. But he died before the war ended, so he wasn't able to see what happened with the two Vietnams. With North Vietnam and South Vietnam, but eventually the two countries converged. His legacy is still fascinating and respected in Vietnam and around the world today, depending on who you ask. Here are two ways he impacted today's society. Ho Chi Minh um, views on national liberation and anti-colorism intervene political and economic development of many countries in Asia, Africa, and Latin America. Some saw him as a hero, and others saw him as a ruthless dictator. And the legacy of the Vietnam War and the role that Ho Chi Minh played in its countries to be debated by scholars and historians alike. Ho Chi Minh's leadership and ideas continue to inspire people around the world fighting for social justice, human rights, and freedom. That's awfully debated. That's obviously debated. Most people say, human rights are violated, freedom's suppressed. So it really depends on who you ask. But he did inspire many movements, like, obviously later on, there's like the Zapatista movement and in Mexico. There's other movements as well that where person or country or group of people wanted to liberate themselves from oppression and rule that they found was suppressive to them. So it depends on who you ask in history of what you think about them. But I think it's very interesting for you guys to do your own research as well on this. But I do like the research I mean is like you could check out some books like Ho Chi Minh: A Life by William J. Dukes. I'm not sponsored by any of these people, just to let you know. Also, another book is Ho Chi Minh: A Political Biography by Jean Lecorte. There's also Ho Chi Minh: A Biography by Kuhi to Nagayan, as well as movies such as The Quiet American from 1958, Indochina 1992, The, S- the Scent of a Green Papaya 1993, Ho Chi Minh, self-titled 2006, among others. So you could definitely look up yourself these movies and books. Obviously, you could do your own research as well. But yeah, Ho Chi Minh was a revolutionary leader who dedicated his life to fighting for independence and freedom of his people. And to this day, he's still praised as a hero to many and seen as a villain to others. So it really depends on what you guys think about him. Obviously, I gave you the story about him. I didn't go into too much detail, but yeah, I mean, definitely depending on your views, it's very important to know what he did and what legacy he holds today. Obviously, in Vietnam, he's still praised very, very, very well. In other countries as well, depending on the social movement and all that. But yeah, guys, I know this was a short one, but thank you guys so much for joining Everlasting Talk. Catch me on social media, and thank you so much. And see you at the next one. And the next one, we're actually going to talk about Alfred Nobel. So thank you guys so much, and see you soon. Bye. Thank you for listening to this episode of Everlasting Talk. For more content, follow us on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram at Everlasting Talk. Thank you.